On a chilly, early December night back in my college days, my close friend and roommate, Akasha Gabrielov Parrish, was murdered. I walked into our room that night to get her to go to dinner with me, but I stopped in my tracks when I found her. In a panic, I ran out to get our friend Caroline. I guess I thought she could help, but she was even more distressed than myself upon seeing Akasha, and I was left alone. I began to reminisce on my friendship with her, not really believing her dead body was on my floor. I'd known her my whole life. She'd always been there for me. I realized quickly, though, that it was Thanksgiving break. Almost nobody was on campus, so I had been alone almost all day and I had absolutely no alibi. I needed to find proof that I had nothing to do with it before I could tell anybody. I searched my room in a frenzy for clues, looking everywhere for any sign of what had happened, and found only one. Our singing bowl was missing. What could that have to do with killing Akasha? I didn't know, but I was going to find out. I had to put everything on hold. I had to find out what happened to my roommate. This is why they used to call me Spia Beck. Honestly, I was an amateur. I didn't know where to start looking for evidence, but that night I got pretty lucky. I decided to listen in on every conversation around the building that I could, and these girls were jabbering on about their science classes. Then one of them mentioned something about her missing crystal collection. Nothing about any murdered roommates. Disappointing, but it was a first step. I kept up with spying on the residents of Sigma, and I actually did continue to hear about people's valuables going missing. A clock, a nice lamp, an incense burner, decorative stuff. I had no idea why any of it was so important to who I assumed was the culprit. At least go for something big if you're willing to kill someone for it. Whatever floats your boat, I guess. I'd been staking out for longer than I would have liked. About a day had passed and I wasn't getting anything game-changing. No aha moment yet. I was starting to lose hope. I was discouraged. But the defining moment always comes when your guard is down, right? So I settled in back in my room again for the first time since the incident. I had to cover up Akasha and spray a lot of Febreze. The dead body part was pretty gross, so I grabbed my ukulele, bundled up, and went outside to get my mind off of things. Before I even got out to the fire pit to play, I heard a familiar noise, an eerie ring in the dark. Normally, a sound like that would have scared the living hell out of me. Yes, even Spia Beck is afraid of unexplained sounds. But I knew it was my singing bowl. I saw that whoever had the bowl had beat me downstairs. Naturally, I got down there as fast as I could, but all I could see was a little figure running off. Somehow, it was faster than me. At least I knew now that whoever had been pulling all these stunts was still hanging around and I had a chance. I decided to rest on it, and the next morning I would catch the culprit. No way I wouldn't. I had to avenge Akasha myself. So the next evening, after sunset, I went out to search the area. Honestly, I couldn't believe I hadn't done this sooner. Spia was still learning, I guess. But this whole stash was sitting right here, so I knew I'd found the spot. I camped out there until the moment I'd been awaiting. This funny-looking little guy came by the bushes once it got dark to grab the singing bowl. I knocked him out and tied him up. At this point, dressed in all black next to a pile of my neighbor's belongings, with this unconscious dude over my shoulder and a dead body in my room, I realized I could get in quite a bit of trouble if I didn't get a confession out of this guy. My gut told me he did it, but not everyone has such a smart gut guiding them through life. I marched the guy across campus into a more secluded place and set up a real official-looking interrogation room. I got a buddy in there as backup, set up a recording device, and I let him have it. I I said everything I'd been thinking about Akasha. Essentially, I told him he was a worthless savage. Finally, when I let him talk, he was pretty freaked out. He begged me for the bowl, and when I asked, he told me that he'd gone into our room because it didn't seem like anyone was in there, but really, Akasha was asleep. So he panicked, slashed her neck, and fled with the bowl. Not that satisfying. He had some ideas about Russians, urging him to take things for them. Something about launch codes. Ridiculous, but he seemed to really believe it. He was definitely off his rocker. In the end, it didn't make much sense. Talking to him, I realized there was no big plot and that he was just a little dude that thought he needed treasure to appease some higher power. That's how it goes, I guess. I returned everyone's things to them and called the police to detain this guy. I still have the singing bowl in Akasha's memory. Since then, I've never let another criminal get away.
I've grown to feel more comfortable inside of the duct tape than I am outside of it.